Me and a friend of mine about 37 years ago walked into a comedy club, and it was one of those where the guys, they hypnotized anybody who volunteered or he picked. And I was one of the young jackasses who's, oh yeah, I'll be hypnotized. And it was a bunch of us. We're probably, 18, 19 years old, down in Baton Rouge having one of those fun nights. And when I get up on the stage, for whatever reason, I couldn't get hypnotized. It just didn't work on me. For one, I didn't believe it, and I thought it was BS. We're just there to have fun and, do shots of tequila like dumb 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids. But my shy friend out in the audience, very shy friend, shy till this day, and he's in his mid-50s, and this was when we were 18, 19. He's totally hypnotized out at the table that we were sitting at. He's getting up. The guy, the hypnotist, all of a sudden tells my buddy, who is super, super shy, that he's a male stripper. And so my buddy, who does not get up and talk in front of anybody, he's just that kind of guy, he's shy. Luckily for him, he's in really good shape, so he didn't look totally retarded taking his shirt off. So he takes it off and swirls it around, and he's dancing, totally not this guy. And I'm just standing there in amazement. I'm like, where did my buddy go? Like, what just happened? And from that moment on, I always knew there was something to being hypnotized. I couldn't quantify it. I didn't understand it because it didn't happen to me. Because I wanted to be hypnotized, but at the same time, I thought it was BS. And so I thought this would be a really fun thing to explore today, because can you hypnotize yourself? Are there studies to being hypnotized? What does it really mean? And it's pretty interesting. So I'd like for y'all to stay with me, because this is pretty damn cool. There are a lot of studies. 90% of this one study, 90%, this is University of Washington School of Medicine, 90% success rate using hypnosis and getting people to stop smoking. That's huge. That's a massive number. 90% stop smoking. Here's another one. This is another study that they had a very similar one of 87% stop smoking. That's pretty phenomenal. And here's another one at 81%. And the studies just go on ad nauseum. I got tired of looking at them all. Like, I'm just going to show you all a couple of them because it's pretty interesting. And how about losing weight? We can all do this. And I've been able to do this for a couple of months now. That guy, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I need to go get hypnotized. But 90% of people also lose weight and keep it off for over 2 years by being hypnotized. That's fascinating. And there's countless studies that show this. How about asthma? Like something that we think is an ailment that you have to have devices for. Well, 82% were either much improved or they totally went into remission of asthma just from being hypnotized. Now, I really like this one. The sexual one, you could get hypnotized, and there is a massive amount of evidence and proof that this really works. And you say, yeah, sex, yeah, really. I mean, we're all sexual beings. Our parents taught us the birds and the bees. But this particular study, there was an 88% success rate with 3,000 male patients. That's pretty impressive because guys are really, really egotistical. It hurts our feelings if we don't work properly. And then as we age, there's a blue pill. There's a pill for that. And it really hurts who we are whenever we say, oh man, it just doesn't work like it used to. So these guys are getting hypnotized as elder gentlemen, and they're like, I don't need a pill. I got hypnotized and everything works perfect. Like, how does that even work? There's a 75% success rate, and that's just one study of moving your mind. And this is pretty interesting too, because whenever my mother was in that homeopathic therapy for cancer, one of the first things in the initiation, or whenever you first get there and they're going through the procedures and what they're going to do, and was, if you don't believe that this is going to work, you don't need to stay here. You need to leave. If you don't believe in what we're doing, then it's not going to work. And my mom, being the wonderful person and she is, she's like, absolutely, I believe in that. And guess what? Now she doesn't have breast cancer. Like, those big tumors went away. That's pretty remarkable. From doing sound therapy and light therapy and doses of vitamin C and melatonin and all these things that happen, it's pretty remarkable of the belief in self-hypnosis that actually started to take place. How about childbirth? I don't know this one myself, but it seems painful. It seems like it'd be painful. In Britain, there's another study. 55% of the women using hypnosis, they did not require any medicine for pain. Like, they just didn't have pain. I don't know what that means, because it seems like a watermelon getting pushed out of you just would be super painful, and to not have any medication seems pretty profound. And then you have depression. We all know a lot of people that are depressed. Like, you run into them all the time. You see all these commercials for them. Everybody takes a pill for something. Either they have to drink themselves silly, or they have to take some kind of pill to squash their emotions. I don't think that's necessary, just from all of these different studies, how so many people are reducing or eliminating their depression and their phobias. Like, why are we scared? I really don't like spiders. Who likes spiders? I mean, there might be some of y'all here are watching, the many thousands of y'all. Appreciate y'all joining us, by the way. I don't like snakes either. Like, I have kind of a phobia of that. Like, they freak me out. But why are they freaking me out? Because I tell myself they freak me out. I tell myself I don't like spiders. Those things are nasty. I don't really like roaches either. I'll jump all over the place if I see a roach, but I'm brainwashing myself to be afraid of something that I don't fully understand. But 50% of the patients their phobias go away. People are afraid of flying. I mean, I've flown all over the world, and I still particularly don't like flying. But why? Because I tell myself that. It's crazy. How about 28% of women in this particular study, they got hypnotized and they got pregnant. And they were trying to get pregnant and they couldn't. And another one. Like, so many things happen with the power of the mind that we just can't understand. Like, just like my buddy dancing on the stage, you can't explain that unless you knew him. It's the same thing with these people. My dad stopped smoking after just cold turkey, getting off script a little bit, but he just stopped after smoking his whole life. And he just said one day to himself, it's really bad for me and I don't want to do it anymore. That's a massive hypnosis. I was really proud of him. One of the only times I've ever been proud of my father. But that was impressive. And I was like, wow, I hope those genes come down to me, because that's pretty badass. How about all of these reports and studies? I mean, these are really big studies of people totally losing their anxiety. Like, me and Randall have had these conversations many times about what kind of practices and meditation, what do we do to help reduce our fear, anxiety. These people have gotten hypnotized and their anxiety goes away. Just goes away. How does that happen? Some people can pray, some people can meditate, some people can do their particular religious practice, some people can sing, some people can get hypnotized and it goes away. It suggests that there's something way more powerful inside of us that we currently understand. How about this? PTSD. I mean, Matt, you're a former soldier, as I am. How many buddies do we know that have been really screwed up? A lot. And a lot of them have been here, and they're struggling. Well, you have a 77%, just in this one study, of people getting hypnotized, getting over that. The power of the mind. The power of the mind. And when you think your mind doesn't have any power, I guess you just don't have any power, right? This is pretty damn fascinating. If we want to know how to hypnotize ourselves, I'm just going to briefly touch on it, because I didn't realize over the past 6 years or so, especially since we've been meeting on Sundays for, gosh, I don't know, what is it? Well, it's about 6 years. I've been hypnotizing myself a lot, and I didn't really put that together until I was putting this presentation together. I was like, man, I really do a lot of those, and I've never really thought about it before. And what I'm going to show you all how to do this self-hypnosis is pretty interesting, that we have that power inside of ourselves. And it's really just a form of meditation. Like, we're able to break negative patterns, especially if we're aware of them. Like, if you know you're being an ass to somebody, you know you are, because you're catching yourself. You go, oh, I was really just rude. I was really just rude to that person. And maybe a year ago or two, whenever, you weren't practicing being self-aware. And you just be rude to everybody, and you just always thought you were right and wonderful. But if you start hypnotizing yourself, I need to pay attention. I need to pay attention to myself. I need to pay attention to how I'm treating others, because those things come right back to me. And so we plant our own suggestions in our mind all the time. I am going to be aware of myself. I am going to think about how my words and actions affect other people. I am, and when I'm saying I am, I'm hypnotizing myself to understand that. Like Steve adamantly suggests that he is not hypnotizing himself when we were at dinner. And I'm going to bust your chops, because we were at dinner on Friday night, and then it was, I can't do that anymore. I can't, I'm always this way, that way. I'm like, why are you over there hypnotizing yourself? You're talking yourself into feeling bad. Like, you're talking yourself into feeling bad. Like, well, just cut that out. Cut out that sentence. Just don't do it. He's like, well, I don't do it. I'm like, well, we need to practice some self-awareness, don't we, Steve? But thanks for letting me pick on you. And that's exactly right. We can't. We just need to take out all the negativity. You know, like, I can't talk to that person because they're always rude. They won't listen to me. Well, you don't have to talk to them. You know, every relationship is reciprocal, right? It's just like a marriage. It's like a friendship. If they're not trying, but you're trying, some people you just have to love from a distance. Like, you can love them from over there. Some people you can't reach, and that's okay. But we can still hypnotize ourselves and go, I can connect to other people. Anybody who is willing and able that wants to connect with me, I can connect with them. No matter what their belief systems, no matter what their politics, no matter anything. I think it's really, really important that we start thinking that way. And it can definitely be used as a big, big tool. And we're going to figure this out together, because I think all of y'all, because most of y'all here have meditated with all of us, either outside or in here or wherever we go. It's really the same kind of practice. And you don't really think about it, but whenever you do meditate, you get in that state of mind where you're receptive to the energies of the universe. So you can tell yourself, hey, I need to be better. I don't feel that bad. I can heal myself. So if you can find a place, so if you want to do some self-hypnosis tonight at home, or while we do the singing bowls, whenever we're finished with this, just get a quiet place. Try not to be disturbed. Some people like to meditate sitting up, as y'all know, or laying down. I like to lay down. And if you have music, do it without any words. You don't want any words. And if you do have music, you want it nice and even. You know, like oceans gently breaking on the sand. Now, this is really interesting, because if any of y'all here, because I know some of y'all are really interested in hypnotizing yourself. If we were just to lay down, like right here, and you look up, just fix your eyes on something like that rafter. But as you're laying there, you just gaze on it, you know, not like an intense stare, you just kind of look at it. But in your periphery, you notice everything else in the room. So if I'm standing here now, so I'm looking at that camera, but I notice all of y'all right now. I can see Matt, I can see Laura, I can see my beautiful wife, I see the new guy, you know, like everybody. And so you get in this awareness, and you can feel your extension. Like all of a sudden you start becoming more and more aware of the things you're not looking at. And then you just take it another step. You start taking breaths, just like we did before we start. Every time before we start, we take our deep breaths to get us all in sync with each other. And you just relax, because I know for y'all, at least for me, and y'all tell me every time we take deep breaths, y'all all feel better and relaxed. Is that true? Like, Andrew, you feel better? Yeah. So we just take our deep breaths. We become the observer. We imagine ourselves running through Let's say I don't want to procrastinate anymore. I know somebody who used to be a massive procrastinator in this room and who is not anymore. Why? Because she told herself she wasn't going to be a procrastinator anymore. I'm not going to put things off when I can do something right now, no matter what it is. Whether it's coming to hug me or coming to hug me, whatever. Where it's no procrastination. And I think that is a beautiful thing because we can tell ourselves that. We can become the observers of ourselves, like watching a movie. If you want to, like this is what my mother did, and this is what her meditative coach told her when she was curing herself of cancer, was you are going to be healed. You are going to, this is leaving your body. It wasn't like you're in a struggle, you're in a fight. It's just leaving me. It's going away. They would have these beautiful conversations and these beautiful meditative practices, and I firmly believe and understand that that was a big part of her healing process, even though there was a lot of other things that were involved. So once you start feeling that in your body, I wish to be closer to all of y'all. Like that's been one of my goals to everybody that comes out here. So I don't know if y'all have noticed, I don't think there's anybody, this is pretty much our core group. We don't have any, like a big crowd like last weekend. I stay in touch with every one of y'all pretty regularly. I mean, I don't every week with Bonnie, but pretty much, like a lot. Well, and Ryan, I don't talk to you much, Ryan, every Tuesday. But still, it's really important to me to have those deep connections, because I've gone through the entirety of my life saying, if I need them, I'll call them whenever they have some value to me. Like everything's been a business transaction throughout my entire life. And so if I need Andrew for something, well, I'm going to exchange either currency or a favor or something, and I don't need to ever call you. I can call you and say, hey, you got time to go do a catering gig? If not, I'm going to call the other guy. I'm not going to, there wasn't any depth of love and respect and connection. And when I started hypnotizing myself that I want those connections, they are valuable for a whole host of reasons. And when I started telling myself that without knowing I was hypnotizing myself while I was awake, all of a sudden all these relationships started to happen and blossom, and they were much more beautiful. And same way with me and Angel. I remember when Angel was coming out here several years ago, and then she stopped coming. I was like, man, I really want to be better friends with Angel. And so I just told her, I just said, I really want to be better friends with you. It means a lot. I love your kids. I love it when you come out. And there's no reason why we can't be close. And then what happens? I meditate myself, and all of a sudden you've been coming every Sunday for a while now. You know what I mean? It's like those things are really important. Like Bonnie, I would self-hypnotize myself with Bonnie because Bonnie did not give me good hugs. Like for a long time, they were like horrible. She would hug me or do me one of those half hugs, like that. And so I started telling myself, I'm going to have a relationship with Bonnie where there is mutual trust, and that she is going to give me a genuine hug, and she's going to mean it because I mean it. And now every time I see Bonnie, just she gives me great, except for today. She ran off because she had to go to the bathroom, and I thought she was running away from me. We do hypnotize ourselves in such beautiful ways and very horrible ways at the same time, where we hypnotize ourselves like, oh, I got to have, I got to go shopping to fill up these empty holes, or I got to take this other drink because, I'm so down. I have this lifestyle that's causing me harm and pain and disease and all these things, when we can just hypnotize ourselves and flip on a dime. Like there are countless studies that we just breeze through where people have totally changed their mindset just like that with some hypnotherapy. And many of them self-hypnosis, just what we tell ourselves. And we have this powerful thing called our imagination. We all sprung up from Mother Earth, from the universe, the cosmos. We're here. It gave us this unbelievable power to imagine. Like, I don't believe we have the power of imagination just to throw it away and say that's something stupid for kids to use. Like, that's silly. Like, that's really, really silly. So we should use our imagination. We should invent the person we want to be. Constantly rebuilding our bodies, rebuilding our minds, rebuilding our whole collective mind, body, soul experience. by talking to ourselves and using our imaginations. Whenever we go into when we meditate, envision ourselves how we want to be, who we want to have deeper relationships with. How do you do that? And like I've hypnotized myself, and I shared this with Andrew because I thought about it exactly last Tuesday whenever I was leaving you. I've hypnotized myself when somebody swings at me. I've always had this, and I don't know if it's from all the years of martial arts training or just my own mentality. I don't know. But if you swing at me, I need to destroy you. Like, that's just it. I want to love you, and I want to be there for you, and I just want to have a great relationship with you the best I can. But if you swing at me, we got a problem. And I realized how rough that was because I had somebody really screwing with me. And so I just swing, and I swung hard. And he's probably feeling it today, not physically, but metaphorically in my actions. And I just wondered as me and Andrew were leaving, I was like, I think I've hypnotized myself in such a way where maybe I just could be, if somebody swings, I mean, I know how to, it doesn't matter how tough you are, the toughest guy can get hit. And that's what, and I'm not talking just physically, I'm talking in everything. Was I too aggressive? Probably not. I mean, my level of aggression, like from years ago till now, is like I was way down here where I would have just threw out all the legal dogs and just had a blast. And I don't know, Andrew, I'm struggling with that. I can't hypnotize myself to be a nicer guy in that one regard. And I just hypnotize it like Steve did. And that was my point with Steve. I can't do that. I just told myself I can't right here on live thing. But I can if I wanted to. I just don't know if I want to, right? I just don't know if I want to. So I don't know. It's one of those things. It's one of those things with life. To be so self-aware that you catch yourselves in those moments, even after you've swung, maybe a few more times. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I just don't know, Andrew. I'm working on myself. It's not an easy thing. So, well, I need all the help I can get. Well, I want y'all to practice this next time y'all meditate. Is just when you're breathing in your meditations, whether you're sitting up or laying down, is feel like you're breathing in all the life force of the world. And as you exhale, all the stress and everything you don't want in your life just goes away. So with every breath in, you're getting everything that you need and you desire, whether it's, love, healing your body, whatever, and just expelling everything else with every breath. It's a really powerful meditation, and I like to do this every morning and every night, and I just love it. So I highly recommend it. And one thing, whenever we're hypnotized, we've been hypnotized to have these triggers. We all got them. We all have them, right? Something's going to trigger you. Well, we need to, instead of fighting those triggers, just say, hey, thanks. Hey, I appreciate you showing up. All of a sudden I got mad. And I noticed I got mad. Well, my mad is like this, but maybe I talk a little rude. Like I don't know. I don't yell. I don't do all those things. I just swing back subtly. And we can catch ourselves. We have this power, this trigger to just say thanks. Hey, I appreciate you being there. You anger, you fear, I feel lonely. Hey, thanks for being there. I feel lonely. Let me go talk to a friend. Let me go see somebody. Let me go do something social. Let me get my ass off the couch and go. That's important. Like our Sunday group here, this is pretty much our, minus a few, but it's important we get together every Sunday. Like it's good for our soul. It's good. We're social beings. We need to know we can trust each other. And being together and talking and how we socialize means a lot. Like, man, me and Dean's relationship, oh, God, it's just blossomed into this fantastic, fun, and serious and comical thing that I would have never guessed before when I first met Dean. Dean looked like an uptight, old ex-Marine ass. I wasn't sure if he was going to be friendly or not. I didn't know. But it was one of those self-hypnosis things. Like, hey, he had heard about this place and he thought it might be interesting. So I have to open my heart. I have to hypnotize myself to say, hey, don't be, just unzip. Here it is. Let's accept you. And now we're great friends. So the mind has the ability to create all the inner peace that we want if we allow it. And we have to start talking ourselves into it. We have to watch our words, catch ourselves, just like I caught myself, just like Steve knows he caught himself too, while I was still in denial. If y'all find this and all of our topics that we talk about, the topics that the infinite has given us and we should use. We have a lot of power inside of us that we can explore, and we can explore it together. And it is a wonderful place to come out. There's so much to do here, and there's so much that we do. Find out more at the Mystics of Texas. Thank y'all. And of course, we get together every Sunday at 1:15. All right, thanks. See y'all later.